is because it's, that kind of bare sense of injustice where, a community of people, multiple communities of people across different ideological lines are facing what is essentially an existential threat. And by existential, I mean the towns that they know, the communities that they know, that they identify with, that they're a part of, are going to be upended by the construction of these massive concentrated animal feeding operations, or CAFOs, or, for folks listening, it's basically, a factory farm that will house thousands of hogs. The Roth feeder pig 2 CAFO in Crawford County would house close to 3,000 hogs. The proposed CAFO that would affect both Polk and Burnett County in the northwestern part of the state would house over 20,000 hogs, 26,000 to be precise. And those concentrated animal feeding operations, as we have seen in states like Iowa, Minnesota, and especially North Carolina, we have seen the sort of devastation that they wreak upon the environments that they're in, the communities that they are established in. And, the kind of data is all there. I mean, people may remember seeing footage in North Carolina after kind of a hurricane of just these massive lagoons of hog feces getting flooded over, and all of that pollution just really kind of running over into the surrounding communities. Just massive warehouses of livestock being drowned, and to say nothing of the kind of conditions that these animals are being kept in. We know how much the resources that these CAFOs draw from the community. It takes a lot of water, takes a lot of cheap labor, takes a lot of, subsidies that the taxpayers are really kind of on the hook for to construct these sorts of facilities. And we've seen the kind of pollution that they do to the air, land, and waterways. And this is what we went to cover for the Real News and In These Times, based on a kind of great In These Times article for their special investigative series, The Wisconsin Idea. And this article was written by Simon Davis Cohen, that was about the struggle mainly in Polk and Burnett counties, where the 26,000 head hog farm, that's a joint venture between Cumberland LLC and Smithfield Foods, is being proposed. And I mean, this, like Crawford County, where Forest is, these are both like really rich and geologically unique areas of Wisconsin that actually kind of create the perfect conditions for these CAFOs to become devastating for these communities, right? What I mean by that is that these, CAFOs, let's take the one in Polk and Burnett counties, 26,000 hogs are going to produce millions upon millions of gallons of liquid manure every year, to say nothing of the smell, to say nothing of the carcasses that they're going to compost by basically spreading them over the fields along with the manure. And because of the landscape there, because it's actually rolling hills, it's not just all flat, right? If there is rain runoff, that's all going to run towards the Trade River, which then feeds into the St. Croix River, which is one of the cleanest rivers right now in the United States. And that feeds into the Mississippi River. And what that means for all of us is that this is not just a local issue, right? The environmental devastation that these operations have on the communities that they are, dropped into spreads. And I think that what I really want people to understand is that this is happening all over rural America right now. The empire is eating itself, right? We used to kind of have these operations, whether they be manufacturing or factory farming. Companies in America would look for cheap land and labor and lower regulations in other parts of the world. Now we are essentially kind of turning in on ourselves and gobbling up more of the available farmland in the United States that we're going to destroy with these factory hog farms and factory animal farms, monocrops that are largely being exported to places like China. And the people there who are fighting against it are finding that, in fact, the state and the lobbying groups that are influencing them are on the side of big ag and the industrial hog farming kind of industry, and they're seeing that they have little recourse to actually defend themselves against the construction of these things. And they can't really regulate them. And that's the real injustice, is that you have people crying out for help, people trying to say we don't want this thing here, but then these big industrial state-backed entities are saying tough cookies, we're coming in, we're going to destroy your community, your local economy, your environment, and there's nothing you can do about it. So I don't know how you can't be furious about something like that.